Hey everyone, my name is Bryant, and today I'm going to guide you through a quick 5-minute mental exercise that can instantly reduce your stress and anxiety. I know right now it's a difficult time for everybody, me included. As a filmmaker, writer, entrepreneur, there's so much uncertainty, and I realized early on that I could not tie my well-being to my material success, and thus began my decade-long journey into exploring mindfulness. In case you're unfamiliar, mindfulness is just being present, not being swept away by your thoughts, which is often our main source of stress. Today, we'll keep it simple. I will tell you the exact invasive thoughts I was dealing with, a story to put things into perspective, and then finish it off with a very simple but not necessarily easy meditation technique that will help calm your mind. By the end, I hope you'll just feel a little bit better. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor or health professional, so if you're experiencing any acute symptoms or discomfort, please seek a professional. So recently, I've been wanting to buy a house. Interest rates are incredibly low right now, record lows. I knew that if I did a hard credit check while I'm doing the pre-approval process for a mortgage, that will bump my credit score down. Now, buying a house is a big deal. So already I was stressed out. But just the thought of maybe buying a house and having to do a hard credit check, which would push my credit down. What if I didn't want to buy a house, which is totally possible. If nothing good came up, then I'm just doing a hard credit check, hurting my credit for no reason. And then I thought, if I hurt my credit for no reason, and then I suddenly want to buy a house later, maybe that lower credit will mean I will not qualify for the best interest rates on the house I want to purchase. And then a spiral of other thoughts came. Why do you need to borrow that much money? What type of house do you want? What's wrong with you? How come you can't buy it in cash? You're not successful. That's what our brain does. It tells stories, and you think of the worst possible scenarios sometimes. So, super duper annoying. I had to go and, do a bunch of push-ups because I can't even go to the gym. So of course, this is something reasonable to be worried about, but the amount it was affecting me was not beneficial. But it was hard to climb out of that thought pattern sometimes. Sometimes you get stuck, you're worried about something, and even though intellectually it doesn't make sense to be so worried about it, your body is already just in a knot. The next part is a story I heard from Sam Harris, and it goes something like this. Imagine you are in a car and you're driving down a super long highway, and it's a long, boring road, and then all of a sudden you start to doze off. Has that ever happened to you before? I know that's definitely happened to me. Now imagine in the second that you dozed off that you accidentally hit somebody and you kill the other person in the car, and you're totally okay. But because of this one mistake you made, another person's life is gone, and it's a terrible accident. Imagine talking to the cops. Imagine having to call your family and loved ones about what you've done. Imagine the court case of having to look at the family members of the victim, dealing with the legal costs, just your whole life changing in an instant with something that could have happened to us at any time. On the flip side, we could have been that victim, somebody falling asleep, us getting sidelined, our whole lives changing. But back to the original example, imagine you are now living with the guilt that a tiny mistake you made has effectively changed your whole life and ruined it. Now think back to the problem you are currently stressing about. Odds are it's nowhere near that hypothetical problem. When you think about this hypothetical car accident, you would give anything to have the privilege of worrying just about a mortgage. When you think about having to deal with hurting somebody else, and the little fight you had with your girlfriend, the money issues you're worrying about, you would likely pay all of the money stuff you've ever worried about to un-accident that accident. It's a dark way to think. It really helps you put things into perspective when you guide yourself through the details of a scenario like that. Because the truth is that could happen at any time. Those types of things are totally outside of your control, whether it's a car accident, whether it's cancer. Obviously, you do the best you can, but we're all human, we're fallible, we're made of cells. Everything could go to shit at any time. And if you think of a specific way it could really, really go to shit, just live in that moment for a beat, and you will feel a little bit lighter of your current problem. Because your current problem, it isn't a big deal. It could always get worse. And yes, people say that, and it's so annoying. It's annoying because it's true. That story, intellectually, maybe it lightens the load a little bit. Maybe you're annoyed at me for exploiting that imaginary situation. But now I'm just going to teach you a very, very simple breathing exercise. This is definitely an exercise because we are training the most important muscle of all, the brain, which I discovered through my meditation journey, but it's also pretty common. It's very simple. It's just counting breaths. So what we'll do now is we slow down and just take a couple of practice breaths. But now that I'm talking about breathing, you're aware of your breathing. It was completely subconscious before, but now I'm conscious of it. Now, what you need to do is just count to 10 breaths, but the slowest possible 10 breaths. So breathe in. You could do 20 seconds, 30 seconds in. Very, very slowly. I can't really breathe and talk at the same time, but imagine you're full, imagine I'm full of air, and then you slowly breathe it out. Over 10, 20, 30 seconds. And that's one. Did you remember that? So you do one and then two. Still breathing in, I'm still breathing in. Okay, hit the top. That was a little fast, and now I'm breathing out. That was 2. Now you do 3, and then 4. And then the key is, if you forget what number you're at, if you lose track of the count, you have to start all over. But if you can make your way straight to 10 without being too distracted, that's it. Each breath you should strive to take 10 to 30 seconds in, 10 to 30 seconds out. And that shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. Of course, if you go a little over, that's okay. If you're a little under, that's okay. Just count till 10. Even though I just did 2 breaths, my whole energy has already grounded itself a little bit. Just because when you're taking slow breaths and you're concentrating on them, that's a lot for your body and mind to do. And it just pulls you out of whatever thoughts that was distracting you. That's all I have for today. Let me know if that helped you. If it did, please like this video so more people can remember to breathe and not stress about their interest rates as much. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what other types of videos you want me to make, what other techniques you want to learn. I'm taking this channel in a slightly newer direction. I'm going to talk a lot more about finances and business, but also just life in general. I want to explore many more different topics. I want to try new things, and I want to share it with you. I think the world is in flux. And because the world is in flux and we are part of the world, we need to be open to change too. In the midst of all the craziness, I just want to help people be okay. Be okay with all the uncertainty that's happening. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you all next time.